Welcome to the newest episode of the Wrestling Infos podcast. My name is Marco, aka Kill Cobain, and today I'm joined by the former wXw Women's Champion, the Y2 cutie, Ava Everett.
Hello, everyone.
Hi, how are you doing today?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
I'm good too, thank you.
Good.
So to just pop in like a little slightly, I want to ask you, what is your first memory of wrestling?
My very first wrestling memory, for a very short period of time when I was a kid, my uncle lived with us briefly. And for a span of time, like we'd come home from school and he'd always be watching like reruns of television shows. And I always remember watching the Chuck Norris show and reruns of like Raw.
Okay.
So I feel like I always like have like flashes of just like random wrestling bits from like just my uncle having reruns on.
All right, nice. So it was just like you've got it from the family, right? Like most of us.
So it's funny because even like with those little like bits of like memories I have, I still never really like connected with wrestling, I guess you could
Yeah.
say. And I don't know if this is going to be something that you ask me later, but I really didn't connect with wrestling actually until like the Divas Revolution.
Okay,
Yeah.
nice. But so my first memory of wrestling was like a very similar. It was my babysitter at that time was watching WCW and stuff, and there was like this catchy 90s advertisement spot of wrestling with like a punk guy. I don't know if it was Hulk Hogan or something. And yeah, brother, come to the wXw show live in Hamburg or something. And this stuck to my mind, but it was like um, around 10 years later that I pretty much got into watching wrestling actually.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely. It's always something that like catches you.
so nice. You've kind of already hinged at my next question. So you said you decided to become a wrestler or got into wrestling with the Women's Revolution, but when did you actually decide to become a wrestler?
So, I probably started watching wrestling again, like religiously in maybe like 2016, 2017. So fairly recently, because I was watching Total Divas. So I loved that show. Like absolutely loved it. I am like a Nikki Bella stan. I love the Bella twins. So uh after watching like Total Divas, like, oh, okay, well, what is wrestling all about? Because I mean, I had seen wrestling, but I hadn't really seen like women's wrestling. So for me, watching Total Divas really got me interested into watching like WWE again. Um, and then from there, I kind of was like, well, this is really cool. It was like one part acting and one part like fighting. And I just thought it was like an interesting concept. I wanted to try it. Like it was just because I was a theater kid growing up, right?
Mhm.
I acted in musicals and plays and I did all of these things. And I just found a connection with like the emotion that you get through wrestling. And I think I like it was like a connection I had never had before with anything else that I had done. Like I played sports, I sang in like choral groups, I instruments, and I always really enjoyed those things, but I never really had anything that I had like a full blown connection with.
Mhm.
Um, and I really had that with wrestling. And it's so silly to say like I had that connection because I watched Total Divas and then I watched the wrestling and I saw the women and I thought it was so cool what they were doing. But that's exactly like I just connected with it from there.
The power of reality TV, right?
Yes. Well, I am American, so we love our reality TV.
Oh, we Germans actually too.
Good.
No, but it's I get where you're coming from because if you have like acting or singing or something, it's like limited to this part only. Where in wrestling you have like so much options like at the same time clashing.
Hmm.
Um, and also, I have to say you're an excellent promo. Did you have to learn that, or did it come naturally to you? I guess the musicals and acting background it did its part too, right?
I definitely think that like my background in like performance art helped me greatly when it comes to promos. Um, I also feel like since I was like 16 years old, I've always had a job. So I was always in customer service. I was always having to like communicate with all different like types of humans, right? So I think like my professional background and my performance art background, I think it kind of just like encompassed everything for me and enabled me to be able to kind of like I would say a decent promo, but just being able to know like how to feel different emotions, which I learned through like performance art and acting, um, has definitely helped me greatly, I'd say.
And also the customer support, like keep calm, keep calm.
Well, fortunately for me, I don't usually have to keep calm, so
Oh, that's good.
I
So
get to kind of say what I want in wrestling. So
that's awesome. Freedom of speech.
yes,
How would you describe your character in a few words?
yeah. I feel like Ava Everett has been like this. Uh, it's like it's always evolving for me. So I've had like there have been so many different evolutions of who I am as a character, or as a person, or a performer. But right now I'm the Y2 cutie. I get all of my influence from like TikTok and social media Y2K aesthetic. I love being so able to be so connected with like Twitter and Instagram and TikTok. And I guess I kind of just wanted to encompass something that everybody could understand with like social media. So it kind of created this monster that is the Y2 cutie.
And where do you draw your inspiration from?
Um, I feel like there's so much that I like kind of connect with. So for a little while, I really was basing like a lot of like my looks and my appearance. I love like poppy and grimes. I really like hyper pop music, even though it's not really like something physically you could see, but like the the noise and the music that comes from it is like very chaotic energy, and
Right.
I am a very chaotic energy type person, and like my being as a whole. So I kind of like try and draw inspiration from music mostly, but uh, like celebrities and like television shows that I like, and fashion. So
Nice. So you've also really talked about it oh God, to evolve your character. So you've also got a hand for reinventing yourself. Like you did several gimmicks, and you've been constantly tweaking your ring gear, um, which I also know has to do with like the people's perception, and also to cut like the sexualization in your presentation. Um, Mm, mm, like about the evolving thing, do you see an end of the line, or at least for the moment?
I don't. I feel like my personality, um, a lot of people don't like change, right? So a lot of people are scared if they're doing something and it's working to like try something different. But for me, I don't like to be stay stagnant. Like I always am interested in trying new things and going new places. And I feel because my personality has so much forward momentum, uh, I always when I was coming into wrestling was like taught like who you are wrestling and who you are as like a persona is just like your own personality like tweaked in times 10, right? So because I'm always so focused on like forward momentum and working on myself, I don't think I would be able to just let Ava Everett be one thing and not change it. Uh, I I just can like continuously see myself evolving and moving forward until I stop wrestling, I guess.
I like that. So, if we speak about your early days, so when you debuted, it was like the character of like this blueprint, sexy, pretty girl, let's say, right? And
Mhm.
since we talked about you did like tweaking the ring gear and pretty much owning a gimmick to a point which is something fresh, like since you've started this, did you see some changes in people's perception?
Um, I absolutely think so. I think that with when I started wrestling, I almost in a way was kind of like handed this personality. I was in a trio, I was in a group that had a very particular aesthetic, and I was like given lines and given promos and given ways to act and given ways to dress. And that was working and it went very well. But I think that the most confident I could be as myself was literally being myself. So um, I guess it was just like with confidence came like the tweaking of like my persona.
Nice. So, also since last year, you could arguably call Germany a second home, I guess. Um, have you been confronted with some culture shocks over here?
You know, it's interesting because I lived in two different like areas in America too. So I'm originally from like the northern East Coast. So it's in Massachusetts. Everybody always goes John Cena. Do, do, do. Every time yes, every time I'm in Germany, I say, "Oh, I'm from Massachusetts." They're like John Cena. And I'm like, "Oh yeah." Just silly, but so I'm from Massachusetts. It's very different from I was living in Florida for a short period of time. My partner was signed to WWE, so we moved there for him to be NXT, which was really cool. But that was also almost like a kind of culture shock in a way too,
Mhm.
because uh, regionally they're on the East Coast, but it was just very different, right? So um, when I came to Germany, I guess I was almost in a way, it sounds so funny because I know it's like America it should all be seemingly the same, but like, okay, I'm going to Germany, like I'm ready for like this culture change, like shock and change. I've been to Europe a couple of different times, but like never on my own,
Mhm.
and never really like for a long period of time. So I definitely was pleasantly surprised to see like I know a lot of people don't like it, but like public transportation in Germany is like leaps and bounds above anything that you would ever find in America, right? Like there's
Okay,
just
okay.
don't expect to have good public transportation there. So that was really cool. And then sometimes I get a little scared, like going out to the grocery store or going to a restaurant and like being like, oh, uh, I don't speak German, and I only know like a handful of like phrases and kind of things to like get myself by. So I definitely do get scared, but I think that being a wrestler has actually kind of like helped me feel more comfortable when I'm kind of like in a foreign country or a foreign atmosphere because it's like I'm so used to interacting with people all the time. So I kind of just have to like strap up and like, okay, I'm going outside today. I'm gonna go to the grocery store and hopefully nobody asks me any questions because I can't answer. But just kind of like having to be confident in myself and being confident, just like, you know what, maybe you can't communicate with somebody, but you can try, and just being like comfortable being uncomfortable, I guess.
Yeah, right. But I guess it kind of helps with English. I mean, by now most Germans or pretty much a lot of people speak broken English, I guess. And
Hmm. Hmm.
what's kind of funny is on the other hand, I have friends, or when I did work in service, um, when we had customers like English or British or from America, and they were like in such a rush, and oh my god, I don't speak English that good, I can't answer them, can you serve them? And it's kind of nice to see that the other part of the mirror like thinks the same side, right?
Hmm.
So they're mostly people are also like pretty out of out of mind when it comes to yeah, being confronted to talk another language.
Absolutely.
So the people in the store might be as scared as you, so to
Yes.
say. Um, is there a notably difference in training or in the work ethics in comparison to what you've experienced before?
I think a lot of the reason I really enjoy coming to wXw and training at the wXw Academy is because it's very similar to original training that I received at the New England Pro Wrestling Academy. That is like where I originally trained to become a wrestler. It's the old Killer Kowalski School. So for me, the first time I came to wXw, had like the my very first training, I was like, wow, this is so reminiscent for me of back home. And during my first trip, I'm living in Florida, so I was like bouncing around at training schools around the Florida area, and it was like the first time I found a school that I was like, wow, like this feels like everything that I was taught when I first started. So um, I think the similarities really just like encouraged me to be like, wow, I love coming here. I love, you know, coming to WXW and coming to Minute. It was just kind of like solidified that it was something that I wanted to continue to keep pursuing.
Nice. And you're also a seasoned intergender performer. So what's your take on the aspect of yeah, of that aspect of wrestling?
Yeah, so it's kind of interesting for me because when I first started training to be a wrestler, there weren't a lot of women at my training facility. So even though I was training and not even like performing yet on shows, I was mostly working with men, of course.
Mhm.
So I think that once I started uh, like actually being on shows, there still was only like a very small handful of women that I would have had the opportunity to work with. And it kind of slowly evolved. I was working with Limitless Wrestling in
Mhm.
America. It's based out of Maine. And they had always kind of from like their infancy always done like intergender wrestling, and it was something that I mean it's the promotion that I would say I work with the most. So even being there, it was this kind of like when I was having singles matches, it was always intergender wrestling. um and then I slowly like became in this group. It was myself and two other gentlemen, one, the dime piece Aaron Work, and the smoke show Ricky Smokes. So then I was in an intergender tag team, and we were having trio tag matches and intergender tag matches. And I think to me, because I've always so used to working with men, like from the very beginning of my career. Like I've just never questioned, like never. It's so funny. Like I've never really thought of like a match for myself and a man as like an intergender match. I just think of it as like a wrestling match, right? So it's always like such a weird topic for me because to me it doesn't really any different because it's like we're performing.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, like I it's so weird. I don't know. It's so weird.
Okay.
Like it's just
Um,
normal for me. I don't know.
nice. So you've mentioned pro wrestling art. Has there ever been a conclusion to the mystery for what the E stands for in art?
I can't answer that question.
Damn
Sorry.
it. So, next month you're scheduled to face your longtime companion and Y2 cutie partner Becca. How excited are you?
So that match is a long time coming. My very first match for wXw was Road to 16 Carat last year, and I was supposed to wrestle Becca. And unfortunately, the weekend before, she had got a shoulder injury in Spain and ended up having to fly back to America, and we didn't end up having the match. And since then, we've both come to wXw, but never at the same time. And now that she's coming back over, we finally get to work with each other. And we've done so much, like working against each other, working with each other. I think it's a really cool opportunity for the both of us to kind of shed a little light onto like wXw, like how two people that like know each other very well in America will work together. We trained a lot together. She originally comes, I believe, from a different training school, but like now pretty solely works or trains at New England Pro Wrestling and me now. So it's like, even though we didn't originally train together, we have had a lot of trainings together. So I'm excited to kind of like show wXw like, hey, like this, like we've wrestled each other so many times and we tagged together so many times, and kind of like this is what we're made of.
Yeah,
And we're the
yeah.
Y2 cuties, so we're like, what's more fun?
Yeah, right. It's just I guess sad that that also right now the WXW women's division vision wouldn't have a like a worthy enemy for you two guys as a team.
Oh, maybe one day.
um like last summer you've also, so going back over to America again, you did a show with AEW. Have there been talks to bring you back, or how was this experience at all?
It was a really cool experience for me. I kind of have been placing most of my focus, to be completely honest, on WXW and coming to Germany. So I think like it takes two. I after my debut on Dark against Outlander, which was like a really amazing experience because I knew Chris from when I was like first starting wrestling, and she's just like such an amazing person. So getting to work with her was kind of like a dream come true for me because I just like she's so cool. She's like just like such an awesome like human being. So I mostly like have just been my main focus has been coming to wXw. I haven't really reached out to any like television companies like in the US at all, whether it be AEW, WWE, anything like that. I just kind of like this has been my focus.
Nice. Um, what are your goals in wrestling, or to achieve in wrestling? Sorry.
It's okay. My number one goal right now is to go to Japan. I just like am so infatuated with like the culture and like Joshi wrestling. I've always loved it from like the very beginning. Um, on Wednesday class, it's like when I was first starting, one of our trainers would always like have us do like tape study, and he would always put on like old like Minami Toyota and Bull Nakano matches, and it was kind of just like like watching those two, watching Aja Kong, like watching all these amazing Joshi wrestlers that just like that really piqued my interest from the beginning and kind of like continued to like help me keep going. And then I think that when I like first traveled over to Europe, I was like, okay, traveling is amazing. And I think it just kind of solidified to me that I was like, I've always loved Joshi wrestling and like Japan is like my next step. How do I get there? Where do I want to go? Like, what do I want to do there? That's kind of like my main driven focus, other than like coming just to Europe.
Awesome. So at the start of the interview, you've also said like you have a background in musical, in acting, in music. So what does Ava do in her spare time? Do you so what are your interests outside of the world of wrestling or going to the gym?
I don't have any. Um, just kidding. It's that's weird. I don't do so much like acting or singing or music, like anything like music-esque too much anymore. It is weird because I think that like mainly I focus on wrestling. So whether it's like going to the gym or going to wrestling training, wow, that's a great question. I'm really lame. I don't do too. I have a pug. Actually, you know what? I have a pug. He is like my favorite little creature on this planet. And if I'm not doing something involving like work or wrestling or working out, I'm really hanging out with him. We go outside. We like to go for walks. We like to go to the dog park. He's like my small little fur baby. And I spend a lot of time finding out ways to do things with him.
I can relate to that. I have a little pup sleeping over there too. It's I guess it's just small dogs.
Yes.
They get you. They get you. Um, going into the wXw 16 karat gold weekend, what are your expectations?
My expectations are to become the WXW Women's Champion. Absolutely. I think that one of my, I guess I would say one of my accolades that I'm most proud of is that I was the first American woman to ever win the WXW Women's Championship. And I want to be the first ever American woman to win it twice as well. I'm really determined to do that. I think that I've worked very hard. I've done my tours. I'm putting in the footwork, and I am just looking forward to gold.
Nice. Since wXw has a great talent, who would you like to work with in the future? Or yeah.
I think that there is a very short list of women I have not worked with that work with WXW. I have not had the opportunity to work with any of the French talent, whether it be Calypso or Amal or Anastasia Bardot. I have not had the opportunity to work any of them. I think it would be really cool. I also have not had the opportunity to work the women's champion, Alice Inc. She reminds me very much of Masha and Killer Kelly, who I enjoyed being in the ring with very much. So I'm looking forward to sharing the ring with Alice and beating her for the title. But other than that, I've been very fortunate that I've worked with the majority of the women that are with WXW, Baby Allison, uh, Eva Kolaski, or Maria de la Rosa. Like I just have been very fortunate to kind of like work with everyone.
Right, but that's just limits to the woman like Lufisto last year, who was
Mm.
participating in the Carat tournament. Would you see yourself doing that?
I would love to be in 16 karat gold because I think I've proved that where I may lack strength, I'm very cunning, I'm very smart, And I don't take things lying down. So I would love the opportunity to be in St. Carat. I think that it's an opportunity that I'm so happy to see is being opened up to women and other people that may not identify as male. So I think it's just like a such a cool uh, progression that wXw is taking. I'm really happy to see it.
Nice. What's your boldest prediction for wXw in 2023?
Me becoming a two-time women's champion. It's all about me.
Nice, and hopefully with a longer reign than the last one.
Yeah, right? What the heck is that?
Yeah,
I would
like
love to take the title back to America.
last year you pretty basically wrote history when you become the champion, and it was like a pretty shocking entrance you've made. Um,
Yes.
but like when you've lost it, it was like also pretty shocking. So we hope you
I
get
agree.
another run with it.
Yeah. When I watched the title, I think it was a little bit unfair because I didn't have one opponent. I had two. If you don't remember, it was triple threat myself, Baby Allison, and Eva Kolaski, and I felt like they were ganging up on. That's not fair. We're definitely not going to allow that to happen if I win the title for a second time.
Right. Nice. So, where can the fans find you on the social medias?
Yes, absolutely. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Ava Everett underscore. Same handle for both. I also have a Facebook fan page that you can find me on Facebook as well under Ava Everett.
Awesome. So, since you are your since you are our guest, do you have any last words for the fans in Germany?
Yes, absolutely. Be nicer to me when I come out. You're all very disrespectful, and I don't that very nice. I should be getting cheered and not booed, obviously. Um, I also hope that all of the wXW fans are excited for 16 Carat and excited to see me continue to dominate in every single performance that I give you. And just be ready for me to win WXW Women's Championship for a second time and to be when I take it back to America.
Awesome. So we'll
Yeah,
see you at the 16 karat gold. And I pretty much thank you for your time. And it was
of
great to
course.
have you here.
Thank you very, very much for having me. I greatly appreciate it.